everybody, welcome back to Kharma's Card Reviews, and today I'm walking you guys through my card collection. I counted and I have over 40 decks. I counted like 41 and then I found some more, and so I don't know what it's at right now. I have these three, which I'm not going to count because these are more family decks, you know, they kind of belong to the family, and I wouldn't say that they're really mine, so I'm not going to count those. But I have... oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Right here alone, I have 3, 6, 9 in this box. 12 plus 9, so 21 with this box. I have 2 in here. 3, 4, 6 hours later. I have 26 in this box alone. So 26 plus 21 is 47. I have 47 decks of cards. And that's, again, not including these. And also, I have one in my overnight bag that, you know, I just take whenever I go to a friend's house. And I also have a deck in my car. Oh, you know what I forgot about? That Moana deck. Okay, I scoured the house for it. I have no idea where I put it. I know it's somewhere, but that makes 50. So, getting into the reviewing, I'm going to start with these family decks. Now, these two are the same. I actually have no idea where we got them, but they're just a basic yellow box. And when you open them up, they're really nothing special. Let me just show you. But, yep, plain yellow back and, you know, basic font. So these are just good, what I like to call throwaway decks of cards. This deck is kind of special. It's a basic blue bicycle deck. And it says Alicia's deck because it's actually my mom's. And it's kind of special because... one year for Christmas, my grandma, her mom, gave her a deck of cards and a cribbage board. And so my mom has this one that says Alicia's deck. And my grandma has a matching red one that says Mom's deck. This is my big box of cards. There's a lot. So, my Disney Princess deck that I just reviewed. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's a really good one. This one is a throwaway deck. I got it from an airport vending machine. It's a good deck of cards, but obviously the box is very torn up. It's literally taped together. But I like taking it with me. I have a couple Menards decks because one of my friends, his dad works at Menards. And so he got me like a bunch of free decks of cards. So heck yeah. In here, this was another gift. I can't remember where the person gave me these, but I absolutely love that it comes in its own tin. And the cards are in boxes, so not only are they in a tin, but they're also in sealed boxes, which I love as well. I have these cards, my burger cards. They're in the shape of a burger. So you open them up, and like, here's a card. I just love it. I think it's so cute. I don't know. And I'm kind of known in my family for being a hamburger enjoyer. Everywhere I go, I tend to get a cheeseburger, and it's so cute and sentimental, and I love it. These are jumbo playing cards, so they're like really big, and I think they're fun to play with. My sister, she has a jumbo Uno deck, but those are way bigger than these. Like, the cards in that deck are like the size of like a sheet of paper. Like, they're big, and that's so much fun to play with. These I actually got in Washington, D.C. when I went on a 4-H trip, and they are circles, so... and I just think that design is so cool. Like, look how it's, like, all around the card. I don't know. I love it. These are 4-H cards. I actually got these from a conference in Columbus, Ohio. And here's the ripoff, is I paid freaking, $4.50 for this deck of cards because I didn't look close enough. And I'm like, oh my god, these cards have a 4-H logo. Boy, was I wrong. They don't even have the logo on them. They're just green cards with a 4-H, like, cover. Anyway, I still love them, though. They're cute. But... yeah, I definitely got gypped. Oh, back to the Washington, D.C. I have this deck of cards, which I also bought in Washington, D.C. on that same 4-H trip. And these are so cool, because they show, like, the cherry blossoms, and they're very silvery and glittery. And they're so absolutely amazing. Oh, my goodness. These I got from my late grandfather, who was just a hoot and a holler, and he was so much fun. And he passed these on to me, and it's Iraqi's Most Wanted. And I just think it's, like, the funniest, like... concept for a deck of cards ever. Like, who thought to make this? It has a secret magic card in there, double-sided. Every card is like, you know, someone from, like, the Iraq War. It's like, it's so funny. I don't know, maybe I just have, like, a really weird sense of humor. But anyway, so that's that. While we're on the topic of politics, I actually have a US president's card deck, and I begged for this. I don't know why I wanted this so bad, but I did. I think it's when I found out that we have almost 52 presidents and 52 cards in a deck. I just thought it was so cool, and I don't know, I begged for this for Christmas, and I got it, and I love it, because it actually has, like, stats on, like, the presidents. Like, it'll have their signature, and it'll say, like, when their terms were and stuff, and that's really cool, so. Okay. This one is about my hometown, and it says The Many Faces of Bryan, and it has a bunch of, like, elderly people that kind of, like, helped create the town, and I think that's really neat. Colorado 14ers. This is so neat. It's all Colorado mountains that are over 14,000 feet in elevation. And it tells you what the mountain is and its exact elevation. And it's just so informational and so sick. So that deck was gifted to me by my aunt who went to Colorado on vacation. And I just remember that being so sweet. And I think that this is one of the decks that really started out my card deck collecting. I mean, I didn't really have that many decks at first. I just had a couple that, like, I really cherished. And she just surprised me with that, and it just means a lot. Oh, another deck of cards that I bought on that same Washington, D.C. trip is a Peanuts space deck. I got these from the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, and I keep forgetting just how many decks of cards I bought while on that one singular trip that lasted a week. Fun fact, I actually do have one more deck of cards from this, and it's really neat. I'll have to put a picture up here, but it's 18th century playing cards, and it's basically the first ever design. Now, I don't include those in my card deck collection because I'm actually holding on to those for a craft. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with them, but I don't really want to play with them because they're kind of on, like, card stock, and I'm so terrified of them getting ruined. Here's a deck that I just got at, like, a random antique store. Nothing special, kind of throwaway deck, but like I said, it's always good to hold on to those. I have an AC/DC deck that is sick, because AC/DC is one of my all-time favorite bands. My whole music taste is stuck in the 80s, and I actually have not played with these. I know I did, obviously crack them open and, like, take a look at them, but I actually have yet to play with these. These ones I want to say I got from an antique store. It's Delta Airlines. I don't know, I just thought it was cool for some reason. And, like, I remember, like, when I first looked at the ace, I was, like, starstruck. I'm like, oh my god, look at that ace. And, yep, I bought a whole deck of cards just because I thought the ace looked cool. Typically, I don't, get cards from antique stores anymore. Sometimes you find some really cool ones, and I'll show you one in a minute that is, like, I think it's really cool. But, typically you don't find a whole lot. This deck of cards, I can't for the life of me remember where I got it. Probably an antique store. But it has Niagara Falls on it, and the color is just so beautiful. And I love it. I don't know, I just really like the design and the colors. It is kind of like basic font, but I don't care. I think it's gorgeous. And plus it came in a plastic case, and that's always a plus. Tied to it, because I had no other place to put it, is this little sheet of magic tricks, of card tricks, that I'm going to one day learn. This is a deck of cards. It's themed for The Office, because that is absolutely my mom and I's favorite show to watch together. We're currently in the middle of watching all the Superfan episodes on Peacock. So these are really cool. You'll see that all of the suits kind of have the same, like, they all look the same. Like, it has Dwight Schrute in the background of every single card, which is awesome, but they definitely could have had room for, like, shaking it up. One thing that I really would have loved to see on these cards is, like, the different symbols of the show. You know, like Pam's teapot, or, like, a pretzel for Stanley, or, like, the world's best boss mug, you know? And I just think that would have been cool, and there was, like, so much room to put all that stuff. Also, the red is kind of hard to see on the cork, like, if you look in that corner right there. I thought they did a good job with the suits. They made the Jack's Jim. I believe they made the Queen's Pam. And they made, there we go, Michael Scott, the King. So, I am happy with that at the very least. Here's another deck that I got at an antique store. And this one I think is so cool because it's Pepsi. And it's from 98. The back of the cards just look really neat. And I know that the cards themselves are a little bit, basic. I mean, the spades are they look pointier than usual. I feel like I'm the only one that would notice that. They have a cool ace of spades. And the Joker is cool. But, I don't know, it's one of those decks that I just feel like is a sort of rare find, and I just really like it. I think it's really cute and neat. Here's a deck of cards that I got at an antique store like 3 years ago, and I haven't opened it once. It's still in its plastic wrapping. Here's a deck of cards that I got from an antique store, and it's about Mackinac. It has gorgeous sights on every single one of the cards, and it's so pretty. My grandparents, my mom, and I took this deck of cards and this Niagara Falls deck that I showed you earlier, and we all played a game of Gimme 5 together, which, if you don't know what it is, it's basically sequence, but with decks of cards. And so you need 2 decks of cards to play. And the funny thing is, I didn't really measure the cards beforehand, so when I mixed this deck with that Niagara Falls deck, it was gorgeous waterfalls and landscapes, but the cards did not match size at all. These ones were way bigger than the other ones, and so it was really hard to shuffle, but that just makes for like a really fun, cute memory. Every single card is like a different thing. Like, look at the Grand Hotel, and like, it's upside down. I don't know, it's just a very pretty deck of cards that I like playing with, you know? Next, I have one of many bicycle decks that I own, the Bicycle Stargazer. Now, I don't know if they recently came out with it, but either way, I've been recently seeing it on Instagram, and they came out with a new Stargazer deck, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like greens. Hello, Future Kharma here, just checking in to tell you that the deck that I'm referencing in this video is called Stargazer 203. Apparently, Bicycle has like a whole line of Stargazer decks. The one that I have already is called Black Hole, but others that caught my eye when researching are New Moon and Falling Star. As you can see, I've used it a lot. This deck is definitely worse for wear. But just look at those symbols. I mean, it's glowing like pink to blue gradient, and the amazing designs you see in there. This is one of my favorites. And the way they made, like, a glowing, like, neon queen. Like, they do that for all of the suits, obviously. And all the face cards. It is stunning. And I've used it so many times because I just think it's so, so pretty. And then, finally, I have these Fox Lane cards that I think I got at a random antique store. And I've played with them a couple times. They're just another throwaway deck that, you know, I like to have, so. Alrighty, that is box 1 done. And box 2 coming up. I have this one that is very artsy, and I actually got a gift from one of my family friends who traveled to Connecticut and got this at a very eclectic, like, mystical shop. And they have, it's by an artist named Edward Gorey, and it tells you more, and it gives you, like, an information card about him. And it's all, like, weird, uncanny, like, sci-fi almost art. Have I played with it? No, because every time I want to, I end up looking at it too much, and I'm like, it's gorgeous. Here's a deck of cards that I got at an antique shop, as with 90% of my other cards. I haven't even played with these ones. I just got them because they have a cool shape. So, they're still in their plastic wrap. I will unbox these one day and play with them, but I don't know. These are kind of on my donate list as well. I have waterproof cards that I actually got as a Christmas gift from my mom. These are also still in their casing because we have not hit the pool very much this summer. And even if we did, I keep getting nervous that, like, I'm going to lose a card, and that is, like, my worst fear. Here's a deck of cards that I found at an antique store, I believe, and they're pirate-themed, and that's cool. I kind of had an obsession with pirates for a little bit, because I dressed up as, like, a pirate for Halloween, like, 3 years in a row, and I rocked that, by the way. I was so cool. And also, for my 18th birthday, I had a dinosaur pirate astronaut-themed birthday party for my 18th birthday, so. These are kind of cool, because these deck of cards, I didn't get them at remotely the same time, but, like, they're apparently made by the same company, and I think it was really cool. This one is special to me. I got this as a Christmas gift, and it commemorates my hometown of Bryan, Ohio, and has a picture of our award-winning, nationally recognized water tower right there that we got an amazing muralist to paint, and it made the New York Times, and it's one of my favorite decks, because I don't know, it reminds me of my hometown. It's very sweet, and I love that one. This other one, I actually got at a career fair at my college campus, my freshman year, and it was literally just a free deck of cards that they were handing out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm grabbing that. So it's very basic. It's a throwaway deck that I've played with my friends a couple times, but hey, a deck of cards is a deck of cards, right? These cards are super, super neat. It's called Joy by Dior, and I actually don't think that I've ever played with these. I got these as another Christmas gift. The box is crazy hard to open because I don't know if they just, like, stuffed it too much, but, like, the box is basically, like, bulging open. So the back is that. It's not symmetrical, but that's alright. And every card is, like, silver. And isn't that so cool? Here's another deck of cards that I got at an antique store. pretty basic, nothing special about these. The ace is kind of cool if you look at that. My Disney Villains deck is one of my absolute favorites. Remind me to do a review on these ones. I got these last year for Christmas from my mom, and I remember literally analyzing this deck of cards for like hours because I think it's so cool. The box is sick because look how shiny and purple it is. And I also believe that they have a green version of the same deck. And I know I saw that at a Barnes & Noble when I went with my boyfriend last. And oh my god, I was so tempted to get one. I think I showed these in a previous video, but here I got from an antique store. And yeah, I showed these in a video where I was talking about like card symmetry. And you know, they're pretty basic. They're standard, but hey, they make for good cards, so that's alright. Here's a basic red bicycle deck. Nothing special, but I do like it because I love Bicycle Card Company. So I always love supporting them. And here's another deck of cards that I got. Now this one, and one I'll show you in a minute here, really are special to me because if you look closely, you'll see a small hole punched right there. And that means that it was actually played in a real casino because then they hole punch all through their cards after the end of like a round. That way, you know, like if the cards were used, then they can't be used again. My final cards that I'm going to show you, I put in a Pop-Tart box. We don't ask questions. So, let me get these out. Now, I already showed you one deck of cards. I already showed you my Stargazer ones that I'm going to put in here. And all the card decks that I'm putting in this box are actually ones that I am packing to go with me to college. So, these are like my best of the best card decks that mean so much and like I think are so cool. This is just a plain Maverick deck. This one's kind of a throwaway deck. I like to pack at least one throwaway deck. That way, if I'm going out to lunch with a friend and I want to pack a deck of cards and I don't have to worry about anything happening to them, food getting spilled on them because it doesn't mean that much. But, that being said, this one actually does have a really funny story. So, I had a boyfriend in high school, and we were in what's called tech team together. So, basically, it's you are in this room with one other person and you literally fix computers for the entire period. Well, that was all fine and dandy, and we had a lot of fun together, you know, talking, playing music, making jokes, and I taught him a lot of card games when we were together. Well, the awkward thing was we broke up, and we were still forced to sit together, just us two, in that room. And what he started doing was he invited other friends into that room to play cards with him. And I was not having it. Really? You're going to teach your other friends the games I told you? Anyway, so one day when he was sick, I stole that deck of cards, and I don't think he knows where it went, so he couldn't play cards anymore. I think it's kind of fun. Okay, here's another deck with a hole punched in it that I said I was going to show you earlier. This one is one of my all-time favorite decks because, again, the unique hole punching, and also because the color is just so unique. It reminds me of a Baja Blast. It's so majestic and gorgeous. And a good memory associated with this deck is I mentored a 6th grade girl when I was in high school, and we would play cards all the time, so that kind of reminds me of that. Here's a Kiss deck. I got it at an antique store, the same place I got the AC/DC deck. My boyfriend is a huge Kiss nut, and so, I don't know, we have yet to play with this deck of cards because I kind of couldn't find it for a while. We actually have been playing with my Turtle deck a lot, so now I'm taking it to college with me, so whenever he visits me, we can play with the Kiss deck. This is another bicycle deck that I absolutely love. It's all pixely and cool. I would actually play solitaire with these decks of cards, and it's so neat. Remind me to do a card review about these ones as well, because green and blue, my two favorite colors, and they look so good together. Plus, look at the back of that deck. Oh my god. These are coming with me to college. This is my dinosaur deck. These are going to be the next card review video I do, because I just got these, and I'm taking these with me to college because I am obsessed with dinosaurs, as you will see in my next video. Here's my Christmas deck of cards. I mentioned them in a previous video, and I told you about how much I absolutely adore them. So you'll see they have different suits. So like the spades are the elves. So every single spade has like some sort of elf. Like there's the ace. And the hearts are all snowmen. So they all have like snowmen. And like look at like the weird like antique like artwork. It's so fun. Diamonds are reindeer. It's kind of hard to see. But they're reindeer kind of bebopping around. And clubs are Christmas trees. And so this is one of my favorite decks. It's so festive. I remember bringing this deck of cards over when my extended family would visit my grandma's house. And so my whole family would go over and we would play cards all throughout the night. And it made me feel like I was part of the adults table, you know? This is another example of a really great antique store find because I found these at like a random antique store and I couldn't have asked for a better deck of cards. This is one of my all-time favorites and that's why it's coming with me to college. My turtle deck, I'm obsessed with it. No explanation needed. It's coming with me to college. Now it's become kind of sentimental to me because me and my boyfriend play with it all the time. I've already taught him rummy and cribbage and 8-card golf, and he catches on so quick, and he's so smart. And also, he got me those cards, so it's really fun to play with those. So this next deck is my most recently received deck of cards, and it was actually a completely spontaneous gift from my boyfriend's brother's girlfriend and her best friend. They just spontaneously made me a deck of cards just because they know I like cards, and they wanted to make me feel included. And I can never express just how much that means to me. So here's the box. They decorated it and wrote special edition and plastered this baby with stickers. And I just think it's the cutest, most eclectic thing ever. Look at the little box of fries. And look how they wrote, "Hello, friend, for you." And it's just so sweet. And even on the back, they put a butterfly right where like the stamp seal would be. And look at the cute like pineapple and orange. So cute. Now, when I opened this up, I realized just how special this deck of cards was, and I realized just how much effort they put into this. So not only did they draw on every single card in this deck and made it either a really cool design, or a reference to my personality, or even like a picture of me and my boyfriend, but they also wrote me a handwritten note. It's on the back of this card, but you know, I'm not gonna show that. And they cut it out to be the size of a card. And they basically just wrote me a very sweet note about how excited they are to get to know me more. So they have some really, really neat, gorgeous colors on how they did the designs. And then they wrote things that, like, I love. Like, they wrote the KISS logo. They wrote silly faces on, like, some of the suit cards. And they did all the 4 members of KISS. So they made this one Spaceman. You can, like, look at the eye makeup. Another awesome design card. They did Maui's hook from Moana because they know that I love it. They did a picture of me and my boyfriend holding hands, and I just think that's so cute. They drew this amazing rendition of the Journey logo. Probably my favorite card in the entire deck, if I'm being honest. Here we have Catman, or Peter Criss, from KISS. They wrote a Spotify code to the song Kharma Police by Radiohead. Now, fun fact about this card, when I first saw it, my mind is stuck in the 80s, so I saw this and I'm like, oh, Kharma by the Police. I didn't know that was a song. I gotta check it out. And like, Riley sat there and didn't say anything, but I bet she was probably thinking like, you're an idiot. Get with the times. It's by Radiohead. But I'll never know if that's what she was really thinking. They drew a guitar for my boyfriend's guitar. Paul Stanley from KISS. They did the star on his eyes. And one of my favorite cards, Gene Simmons, with his eye makeup and the tongue out and the whole deal. They even colored his hair to be black, and I just think that's so creative and cool. Get ready for the most elite reference of the entire deck. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson card. Now, this is so funny because I didn't really know why they put that because I didn't remember flat out telling them about my obsession with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And it wasn't until I went to dinner with Riley and her boyfriend, my boyfriend's brother, at Buffalo Wild Wings, because I'm obsessed with that franchise, if you didn't know, that she mentioned that she watches my card review videos. And when I tell you my immediate reaction was like, oh my gosh, like I was so embarrassed. Because like, these are nerdy little videos. These are supposed to be for nerds, not like cool, nice people. And so I thought that was so funny because she even told me like, her favorite videos of mine are my Moana deck review and my most recent deck review, which is the Disney Princess one, where I talked about Moana and gave a little shout out to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So now I know how they found out about my secret obsession, aka not so secret, aka obsession that I'm posting for the world to see on YouTube. So I packed it all up in my eclectic little fudge Pop-Tarts box because I'm cool like that. And that's my card collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Can't wait to see you next time. I promise I'm going to get another card review video out soon. My next one up is going to be my dinosaur deck. And be prepared to be bombarded with a bunch of dinosaur facts that you didn't know nor needed to. Alright, that's it for the walkthrough of my card collection. I hope you enjoyed.